a little bit of activity, a few growls from the adults. The cubs trying to get in there, and the one adult lioness is not too happy about that. You can see they all have full bellies. I wonder how much longer they're going to hang around here for. Just keeping an eye out. One lioness just moved off a little bit, but I think she's taking a bathroom break actually. It's amazing how they generally do move off when they need to defecate, move away from the rest of the pride. Some cubs getting a bit playful now. Just trying to see again if I can see any good sign of fat on these buffalo. Yeah, it does look like there is quite a bit of fat around there in that meat. I was just discussing earlier if the good grass and that has helped the buffalo gain their strength and allow them to gain condition. We were worried about the lions feeding on them last year because they were in such bad condition. I don't think they had the fat reserves that the lions need in their diet. But it looks like they're doing all right now. And like I said, I haven't seen any live buffalo yet, so I'll have to look around. Susan, you commented also on the flies that are on the buffalo at the moment. There are plenty of flies on this buffalo, and you wanted to know if it's not unhygienic. No, it's not. So even though there are a lot of flies, and even if these lions manage to eat a fly or two, I mean, their digestive systems are very, very strong and able to cope with that. So, but it's not an issue. I mean, all these animals, leopards, lions, all the predators, if they have carcasses for a while, flies get to them very, very quickly. It's just part of being out here, but usually it doesn't affect them at all. So they'll just try and chase off some of the flies, and also during the course of the evening, as soon as it starts getting dark, those flies disappear, and then they'll be able to feed in peace, well, without as many flies around, that's for sure. Look at this little cub off to the left, just climbing this tree, exploring. It is interesting. A lot of people thought that lions don't climb trees, but they do. They're not as agile as leopards, obviously, but they can climb trees. They struggle to get down though. So that's why you generally don't see lions high up in trees very often. But they can climb, and I have seen lions climbing trees to get to leopard carcasses, or to chase a leopard off a kill, to try and scavenge. Again, just by purely being opportunistic. If there's food around, they'll try and get to it. But usually if a leopard's clever and it puts it high enough, the lions won't be able to get there. No, James said he thought that we might get some rain later. Oh, I wonder, just looking at clouds building. There are some clouds building, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we'll get rain tonight. Who knows? That would be lovely, though. Brandon, you wanted to know if these cubs would get aggressive with each other when they were feeding. Yes, definitely. They get very aggressive with each other. And again, it's that survival of the fittest. It's instinct. If there's a bit of a competition for the best piece of meat, they will fight for it, without a doubt. So again, even at this young age, you can see that little cub using its tongue, and it does that to try and well, obviously get to a little bit of the meat and loosen some of the meat. Those tongues are incredibly rough. Maybe tenderize it a little bit to make it easier to bite and chew off pieces. Try and loosen some of that meat. Oh, Pete, you'd like to know what kind of vitamins and minerals do the lions get from the buffalo? Well, these predators get all the nutrients that they need from the prey species that they feed on. So, oh, look at that beautiful face of that cub there, growling at the adult. So, Pete, they'll obviously get a lot of protein, but they do get the fats and the salts that they need. You know, if anything, to help with digestion, at times lions will maybe feed on a bit of grass. It does help digestion and helps maybe clean the stomach a little bit. It does occasionally make them regurgitate if they've eaten something that doesn't agree with them. But in terms of feeding on oh, look at that. That's wonderful. In terms of them feeding on antelope or buffalo or any prey species that they feed on, they get all the nutrients that they do need from it. So they don't necessarily have to worry about feeding on anything else. They'll get everything that they need, and that's why they are carnivores. Their digestive system suits that diet.